of 6 months, then it expires. The state says you're not just gonna put them on leave and moratorium.
Right, that's what I'm saying, but I would, as a member of the public, rather than see it done a little faster than 6 months, if that's possible.
No promises. You seen how long the other one went?
Yeah,
But noted.
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes there's interest drawn.
Do you have any requests at the moment that are pending?
We do have some requests. We have a church right now.
So any pending ones would have to be honored.
Any applications that are completed right now would be honored, yeah, that are in. Yep. So we do have a couple of them right now, but we're starting to get some inquiries that I think that has been cat out of the bag type thing, and so I think that,
No, it's a good idea to review, because it's been a while.
you know, we've been doing a lot of other things, so that'll put it up at the forefront, so we'll be able to move on it.
Good. We have a first and a second. We had discussion. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes to temporarily put a moratorium on conditional uses in all zones. Reappointment, and this may, we're going to make reappointment of an airport committee member, and that's my wording, but I think it is a little bit different. And so I'm going to read you the letter I had, and then that I received from Mayor Potter from Heber City, and I'll explain it. As you're aware, Heber City is preparing to update our airport master plan. As part of this effort, and it's addressed to all the mayors in the valley. As part of this effort, we are creating a steering committee, about 12 to 15 people, composed of city residents as well as others from different parts of the county. Our vision is for this group of level-headed, solution-oriented, collaborative individuals to oversee the master plan process. We expect that they will ensure that it is a fair and transparent process with effective communication between the consultants, city representatives, and the public. I hereby request that you nominate an individual to serve on this steering committee. This position can be filled by a member of your council or an interested community member if you prefer. Keep in mind that we need individuals who are open-minded and solution-oriented. We are fully aware of the contingent who are opposed to a possible safety upgrade, but we are facing some complex legal issues and possible financial repercussions if this process is not handled correctly. Naturally, we need people who think critically, but who come with the intent of improving the process, not shutting it down. This group will not be making a recommendation to the City Council, but they will be focused on the process while considering the issues and the alternatives the city will face. This committee is an important part of the effort, and I thank you in advance for considering someone from your jurisdiction who you think would be a valuable addition to the team. As always, thanks for all you do. If there are any other questions about this or any other issues, please feel free to contact me anytime. Mayor Potter. So I believe that is maybe a little different than what Mike is different. So after read that's a steering committee. So I'd like to open that up to anybody here and or anyone that we may be able to suggest to the mayor that might help follow that. I know Mike is also involved in that and certainly is following that, but we have another opportunity to put somebody else on the steering committee.
So this would be different than
the advisory board.
Yeah, Mike's, I actually been, I think, asked to be a part of the steering committee. You should know that the city is in the process of hiring a PR firm. The federal government is willing to invest up to $100,000 to convince all of us that we really want the airport.
That we want a bigger airport.
$100,000. Did you say Mike is on the airport advisory? He is the chair.
He's the chair of this whole report. Is it the report, the study?
Master plan.
That's interesting that they don't report, they're not gonna make suggestions to that board.
They're just going to report back to us, the folks, just to let them know what's going on, I guess, or something.
But the steering committee, you think would be a direct tie with the advisory board?
You would think.
That's so weird that they don't,
They
they're not
will
gonna
not.
talk to the council or the
The
advisory.
group will not be making recommendations,
But they gotta be coming up with solutions.
but they got to become a solution.
Wow.
Not passed on, probably just hopefully to the airport committee or somebody, maybe.
What about Nick Kohler?
I think there's probably a few people, actually. You know, Mick might be great. I mean, he understands things. Another neighbor, he flew. I don't know, I think he's probably too interested, but he was also a fighter jet pilot.
Yeah, that's right.
So there's
He
a
might
couple,
be
but
interested,
might be-
closer to the airport.
and he still likes that stuff. And there's a few people, so I'd open it to all, if I could get a name from anybody, we'd love to pass that along to the mayor. So,
Do we need to talk to him before we pass names on?
I would think we could talk to him,
Just submit some names, because if we don't have to talk to him, I got a bunch of names.
I'll clarify that statement. We would like to hear the names of people that would be interested. Yes, we would want to talk to them.
I think Rob would be good, I think Mick would be good too. We should talk to both of those.
Schellenberger?
Is that the one you guys are talking about? the
Yeah,
pilot?
yeah, I think Rob Schellenberger would be good.
He spent a few months down in Charleston, kind of.
Mary?
No.
Oh,
And I know that his experience down there with amongst that political group wasn't as good as maybe some others, so I'm not sure if he would or wouldn't, but I would certainly be glad to ask him.
Yeah, and I think he actually came to one of our meetings up here when he was on the board down there, because we was going through the annexation.
Yeah. Okay,
I don't know, if anybody else?
well,
I like Rob Schellenberger.
I can certainly ask Rob, and
That's a good
we'll ask,
suggestion.
we'll ask Rob. And here over the next week or so, if it does come up, we'd love to hear anybody else, but Rob maybe loved it.
should go to Mike's the chair.
I don't know if he is.
I'm sure not.
Okay. We have this on the item each month. I don't know if there's anything to talk about with item number 7, discussion of acquisition of Daniel Water shares.
Let's see, what about 6?
6, planning department, report violations and enforcement. Yep. You did your 64/7.
I like that. I'm not gonna say nothing, John.
I like your report.
I do too.
You do
I
a good
do.
job.
My
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I'm just testing you guys.
You doing one of these? Sure.
Take a look.
Okay. How about you two?
Sure, thank you.
Okay, as you look at that, there's a lot going on. I received a text today on the first one that Webb's will be coming back before us.
For us as in town council or planning or
It'll have to go to planning first to come to a recommendation, but
it's coming around.
it's coming back, so we sent the application, denied letter sent. It must have arrived, they've reapplied.
That's all they've done is reapply.
No, they've done some, they're moving some fences and some property
Oh,
lines are being moved around, so.
oh, okay.
Without any other disturbance of any other neighbors?
I assume that they've worked that out, I haven't seen anything yet. They wanted to be on the agenda right away and it was too late, so they won't come to planning till June. So,
Okay.
hopefully we have more information on that.
Good, yeah, hopefully something works out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other, we did issue the CO for the Leavesden. We've issued 2 ag permits.
So we have an official complaint on the old Hobbs home,
We do.
and are we able to do anything on that, or data gathering phase, or what?
We have got a lot of data gathered by an individual who lives there. It is passed on to council. Then our planner did some great research and realized there's 2 homes by this company that owns it, not just the Hobbs, but another home that owns it, so they're doing it. So then council got asked again about if we would just, since we cannot do anything with regards to advertisement, could we just purchase a night and obviously show that they're renting it? Apparently that could be called entrapment. And so we're getting clarification on that issue, which I have not got word back yet, which is kind of bizarre to me. How do you get entrapment when they're obviously renting it over the internet? But apparently there might be something there.
So that's still like going nowhere really.
Anyways, you know, it's like it's been in council twice. I mean, they've had 2 discussions and now it's got 2 different opinions and now.
Costing us money.
Yeah, that's what I
I mean,
mean.
yeah, it discusses money and we haven't got an answer yet.
Yeah.
First conversation is clear, second conversation wasn't clear. As far as,
So you remember you guys voted to have me write the letter, then when we met with the planning commission, that was reversed to hold the question,
the double meetings.
to not write the letter. And so I think we'll have to, when we go into closed session, we'll discuss that issue.
Oh, are we going into close later?
Yes, so those last 3 items on there,
Yeah. I was gonna ask about them, but yeah.
yeah, so we'll be going into closed session for those, as well as, the attorney said if we need him, we can call him and he'll be glad to talk to us on the phone.
Good.
For a nominal fee.
Yeah,
Eric, was the Leafson one that was issued the seal, was that the same one that we were having the complaints on for the
for the,
river?
Snow.
Yes.
Yes,
And that's all good?
yes.
yeah, we told them it's their problem, so.
I think everything that was up there.
And the water's draining.
I got it.
Can I just ask a question on the Charles Schultz suits?
You might as well, since your name.
Well, that's what was gonna be my question, is I think all the individuals were dismissed before from the original suit. Are we back on as individual defendants now?
He refiled,
For the 4th or 5th,
he refiled it. So I believe that we are.
Okay.
hold on, we or we?
I think everybody went
That
one
was named
through.
originally?
Yeah, minus the ones that have passed on.
Okay.
So, and me individually. Besides the group.
Outside of the city.
Wow.
He's going outside of the city,
Umbrella.
umbrella.
You individually? Only you individually? Okay.
On 2 of them, be individual.
Okay,
Did we answer your question?
Well, we're just getting nowhere fast with him, I can see. What's it
Yes.
been, 5 years?
Yeah. And so, the lawyer was up Friday, and was in at the county, deposed the county. And, he didn't show up for that, and then they had him on the schedule to be deposed on Tuesday, and I haven't heard.
For the county.
What?
For the county.
The county was deposed by our attorney, Charles was invited to be there, Mr. Schultz, and then he was being deposed on Tuesday,
Schultz was?
and I haven't heard back from our attorney, so. It's getting very complicated.
which will be interesting, because if he didn't show, see what he'll do, he's gonna file again.
Right.
So as far as the attorneys, Dale took care
Dale's
of that.
retired now, and so there's been a gal that's took over, and then she's gone, now we got another gal.
Okay. So it is still the previous group as far as the Schultz
For the
case?
Schultz.
Different from Dale,
Yeah.
okay.
Different from the other ones.
So,
We may all be dead before it's over with.
hopefully not.
It's really complicated, it really is a mess.
So, yeah, is there anything else?
Is there any other questions? So the only other thing was that note at the bottom. We've been looking into putting a draft land use map together, based on the attorneys that was here, wanted us to do that. I'm beginning to think now that if we have that map out there, that that's exactly what they'll be pointing at, saying you should be doing this. Even though it's a funny map, I mean, it's just outlandish, this maybe could happen in the future.
You're talking about the future map?
Just like this one right here.
Yeah.
And that's what she asked us to build, was something that had the land use. And I don't think it's created yet.
We did a draft for you to look at, but no, it's not created yet. It's not done. There's a example or a draft or an early version, but no, we could easily cancel it.
So before we put money into that, you might want to back that around a little bit. That was the whole problem with Heber Cities, remember? They showed up with the map and some folks didn't wanna be brown on that map and some folks,
I remember when we experienced it in, from Waxville, that whole meeting.
Yeah.
In Canada.
so Heber City has one and that's what she suggested we do based on the people that didn't wanna annex in, cause they're not sure what's gonna happen with that property.
Wouldn't we do a colored zone map to where we stand, let's say, as of tonight?
Yeah, we have a zone map, but this is a future possible
There you
map.
go, that's what the confusing part is for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah,
The
so.
future map, not the
Yeah.
current map.
Right, and so I think it confuses the issue, which is why we haven't had one to begin with, because it was such, the residents just hated that thing, and so we hadn't, but based on what she was saying before she quit, she thought we should have one that maybe would clear the process.
And she did.
And I don't know if it will or not, and maybe that's a good question for the public, what do they think, I don't.
As far as
Well, think
the
about that.
possible zone changes to commercial and.
It's just even the uses, it's, if it possibly could be commercial down the road, or if it could be a bypass, if it could.
It's gonna make them mad as soon as they see it, even though it's
Oh,
not actually in action.
And I understand that because a lot of times we make maps and then they become somewhat binding, even though they're not supposed to be when they're built.
Yeah, that's my concern.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got a map right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right here, where's that line?
Here's the enterprise zone, how many times have we heard that?
Exactly. Yep.
Which is totally different than a zoning map. But boy, they marry those two together and
Yeah, they do.
it's part of the thing, so. You may want to call Colts here tonight and ask them if we want to move forward.
I wouldn't do it.
Any comment?
She says no too.
Two?
No. Straw poll.
No,
says
so from the full public, where we gotta know.
Ryan, do you want to add a yes?
I'm really not, I'll go with the flow. If you want it done, we'll update what we started. If we want to call it quits, I'm good letting it die.
What a politically correct answer.
Are we-
I'll do
Well,
what
the thing
you
about it
want.
is paying money for something that we may plan on doing, it's gonna switch, whether it switches in a year, 6 months, whatever, then the map's really not really any good, because then we have to have a new current map, which is, I don't know that particular issue.
As we go through these zone changes and they look at the general plan, we've specified highway corridors. We put-
Verbally.
Right,
Yeah.
in that document, it's in there.
It is.
And I don't know that we need a map to, I mean, we review that general plan, well, it's gonna be every 2 years now because of the low income housing element of that. Will come, you used to only have to do them every 5 years, but since we put that into that, now it'll become every 2 years.
I haven't heard that yet. So
Yeah.
you're talking with some of the CDBG type,
Yeah, as soon as you put your low income housing development,
report or survey.
right, as soon as you put that into your general plan, and then that has to be redone every 2 years. So if you only had the general plan, it was every 5 years, so. And why do I know that? That's terrible.
I was still stuck back on 5, but I'll try to remember 2 now. Okay.
So that'll come up a lot, so if the council thinks you wanna continue that, or do you wanna?
I'd say put it on hold.
As far as, yeah, we can continue that, and I'll take a motion to continue it, or just continue it, either way.
or
You're
do you
talking
wanna
about
hold-
this right here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm asking for direction for Ryan
Yeah.
to either put the brakes on it or continue.
I'll make a motion and we'll put the brakes on it.
We'll continue to wait for red lines. If they never come, that's how hard we'll work on it.
There you go.
We have a motion to hold on and a second, which would be, to just continue it down. Any discussion on continuing it?
Wait, I thought he said to stop.
Put the brakes on, so.
To not continue to stop, not to have it at all, or not just continue?
So he's saying continue like,
Yeah, he's saying continue, but John said stop, so.
So Mary's just
So
clarifying.
we'll, yeah, just to slow it down.
So we can think about it, whether it's on next month's agenda, or the next month, what you wanna do is chew on it, or
Yeah.
you're gonna chew on it? You don't wanna throw it in the garbage? That's all I told you, is want to chew on it, so I'm just clarifying.
So what do you got? You got a motion?
I thought his motion was to stop it,
That's
to
what I thought.
Yeah, that's what it was.
terminate it, to end it.
Okay.
Let's- yeah, let's-
We got a second stop.
Motion to table it,
Table it, so you're changing your motion?
yes.
There's a second for the
stands.
second stands. Okay, we have a motion and a second, any other discussion? Not, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Table,
Table. Sir?
good one.
Okay, any other, so, we're moving on to number 7, are you done with 6?
Yeah,
Okay. So item number 7, discussion, acquisition of Daniel water shares, that's been on the last month or so. We're just leaving it there just because there are some water issues that are coming in the valley with that rejudication of water, so anybody have any questions or comments with regard to that line item? No public?
I have a neighbor that would be interested in leasing 2 or 3 more shares if anyone knows somebody.
You know, that would be good. So,
Stefan was talking about leasing. fuel,
so that, like next door neighbor or
Tim
on that
Clark.
street?
Tim Clark,
He needs 3 shares of Daniel shares or
2 or
Tim?
3 I think would be enough. He's leased some from Jim McCleary already, but it's not quite enough. So, anyway,
Stefan was talking about that.
looking for.
Always trying to help somebody out.
Leasing something
I'm
out, yeah.
understanding that if it's not being used, it's gonna be,
Take it.
Jeopardy.
We want to get it all leased.
but it's not just those shares in jeopardy, it's all of us in jeopardy.
That's right.
So,
Judith Deegan probably is not aware of anything, does nothing with her water.
oh,
Somebody should have a discussion with her.
yes.
See, what I've heard is they're gonna take a aerial visual, and, yeah.
It's not green. Well, it is today, but it won't be
Well,
next
Bridget wants
month.
to ask her if he can put sprinklers on just to make it green, which I hope is a good idea, and I told her to go ask him, but not because of this issue, but it would help this issue.
Yes,
And she does have the riser going up, she could use it, so.
we've been concerned about their property.
Mhm.
I'm glad that Pepe got that alfalfa field in last summer.
Okay, so I'll talk to Tim Clark as far as need the least water, and you'd have his number, I can call you later and get that number from him, maybe?
Yeah, Mike's got it.
Okay.
And so as that comes up, I think that the town still should be on, we can use that for future water, and that's a safe place to put it.
Well, it'll be the safest, and hopefully,
I mean, if shares are gonna be taken away, I just think keep them in the town.
you'd think, and hopefully so. Shelley, Danny Municipal Water, since Gary's not here, anything that you might be able to share with us this evening?
Nope, like we have the one leak taken care of that we knew.
Okay,
The one in Boots's old home is leaking really bad again. His bill, is astronomical.
how come it's not turned off? Okay, do I need to make a phone call on that one?
He's paying.
He's paying. Last month he
Oh, it's not
paid-
behind, you just
No,
got a
he
huge
just
bill.
Yeah, he just came
Okay,
down
I
and paid
misunderstood you.
$900. And I'm thinking, I guess as long as they are paying. So, and then I did give Gary a copy of those that are late, that are really late, and I think he just seems to want to talk to him. He doesn't want to send out disconnect notices yet, so I just am going with the flow. I'm waiting, but I think everything's been going good. Oh, we just changed, we had problems with getting reads again. And we cannot, I think it was what are you doing wrong and what are you doing wrong? And, because as I'm downloading to my thumb drive, it's showing, I can pull it up on the computer, it's showing all the reads. But as they're trying to get it from master meter to the thumb drive, it's not reading. So we've dropped thumb drive and went back to a Dropbox. And we're gonna try that this next time to see. So Chris has been really trying to, get things working. So the bills went out a couple days late.
Is that working okay with Chris in that process, or?
Yeah, I think he's sometimes hard to get hold of, but he came right down. They called me and said, we're having problems with this, it's not, and so I I talked to my boss, said I have to leave for, and so I left for a couple hours to go take care of this water thing, and Chris came right over, and then they found out, oh no, it's right here. So it's not Polaris, it's master meter. And we're just really struggling with that, and I don't know. So I'm hoping this Dropbox will now take care of that. I don't know, I just know it's a mess. Every month is just a mess trying to get those out. So I'm hoping it gets better. I know, it's like, so, yeah, so I'm hoping, but other than that, I think, everything's going well.
And that would be basically both water bills for both companies?
Yes, for both water companies, and,
Anything Storm Haven-ish that,
nope, we had one of those, the reads go backwards, the meters go backwards again on one of the owners, and I contacted Gary, and he said, oh, just send him a bill with just the regular reading, the $45, and so that's what I did, and so.
Well, I don't think the meter's actually going backwards, I think it's a data issue, because it moves around.
It does, it's moving
So
all
it moves
over
around the
Storm
whole thing,
Haven.
and all of a sudden it'll hit 9,999 gallons. So it backs up 100 gallons somewhere in the system.
Yeah.
It just
At
keeps
least
moving
once a
around,
month, or every other month, we have this, and it's a different person
and they
issue.
can't chase this hiccup down, basically?
I don't know, yeah, all of a sudden I got a bill
That's
for $6,000,
It's a
and I'm
moving
like,
target.
oh, this guy's not gonna like this. Yeah, so,
Okay,
but everything's going, I think, going good.
It's easy to spot.
It is easy to spot.
wow. Okay, thank you very much for that
Do
update.
you want to
Oh.
tell them about your testing? Do you have TO there?
Oh, Tio, Amelia got right on it, and she had called Chemtech and told them to give them all the testing, all the rest of the testing for the year. And she received it, and she's been just doing fantastic. I've been getting reads, getting all this information, and I appreciate her getting right on it and not waiting. So she's probably got sick of me emailing her saying, let's do this now, let's do this now, but they have been very high priced, these are the big, high expensive tests, so you
You're
go,
leading to the warrants.
yeah.
Good second.
But I told Ryan, I need to send her a little treat or something, telling her, thank you for getting on these, and let's not wait until the last minute, so I appreciate what TO's doing and how they're getting on that, took care of that.
So the well should also be underway soon. They're wrapping up their previous project and then planning to come up here. I don't have a date, but we're getting close. All the paperwork's in place. We're just waiting on them to finish up their other well, which normally we don't do that. Normally we force them to start, but one of the ways we got the price down was we told them we'd be flexible. So as soon as they're ready.
They thought it'd be, what, 2-3 weeks max?
Yeah,
They thought June, didn't they?
They told us June, and he's gonna be pretty darn close, but we may get going to May, so if you start to see stuff up there, I'll send out an email, but it should be happening sooner rather than later.
Will that affect residents at all for traffic or?
For traffic, no. For noise, absolutely. It's gonna be about a week that it's just gonna be loud and obnoxious, and we're gonna get a lot of complaints.
I don't think you'll get too many because they won't want it.
I'll send you what new
I
water?
think, once we have dates, I think we need to send out notices. I don't wanna send out notices yet, because
Yeah,
we'll be wrong.
once we know, send out then the first water notice just to warn everybody.
Yeah,
That'd be
and I
great
can
for
put that on the water bill
hopefully.
too.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
can put
what-
in my water note.
will be a little noisy with the construction.
But I mean, they're talking going around the clock till it's done, so
They did.
they're gonna really go after it, so.
So Ryan, how's the creek level doing up there?
Just fine.
No flooding?
No, we've been losing about an inch of water a day up at the snow tug gauge, and we're usually good until about 3 inches a day. Anything over 3 inches a day is where I have my alarm go off, and we've been right at an inch, inch and a half, and so I haven't seen any problems. That debris we talked about all caught on my bridge, and I pulled it out, so I haven't seen any other issues. I drove through Storm Haven this morning, and it looked fine.
Exactly.
So looking at the forecast, it should stay cool for about another week, and then Snowtel says we'll be out of water, out of snow up at the Snowtel gauge on the 15th, so
Yeah,
I think
everything,
we're past the worst of it.
everything except for Trial Lake has started down on Snowtown.
So between you two, are any of the valley, or, and this is not our meeting, but any of the valley gonna have flooding?
Yeah, I think there's a high probability that there's gonna be flooding, based on the amount of snow that's up there and the warm weather. Daniel Creek usually goes first. It's a lower elevation, gets a lot of sun. And so it's 2/3 of the way done right now.
Good.
And in another week of cold, cool temperatures, I think we'll have it down at 1 inch per day, which is about as good as it's gonna get.
Nice. Okay, great.
Is there still a moratorium on the water up in Storm Haven and the sewer? So I am getting calls on some of the property, and I want to just clarify that. I've been kind of trying to funnel them toward to Ryan, but I don't know, because I've had several people call and asking, we're looking at this property, is there water available? Is that still what's
Don't call
happening?
next year.
We probably ought to look at that date, find out when that moratorium went on, don't you?
I was gonna say, are you getting the ones that I just sent to you?
I
Okay.
think so. And so,
Yeah, we probably are bumping up against the day.
and so far, the ones that have called all have water meters already set, so it's kind of a moot point. And then as far as the sewer, it's not a moratorium, it's state law that says we can't make that community septic bigger. They changed the rules after that was built, so it's grandfathered in under the connections it's got. We don't need a moratorium, we can't add any new connections.
But that's the moratorium we're referring to, and I think we probably ought to look at that. I don't know if it's in, was that moratorium, what would you look at under? It's not a resolution, it's not a, maybe?
It should be,
Right.
but I don't think we did one. We just can't add them to it. I don't think we needed a moratorium on the sewer.
Just the water.
Right.
And
Okay,
they,
I'd agree with that.
can they have a septic?
Have to get-
They'll have to have a septic, they have to do something else.
They could do a septic tank.
Yeah,
Potentially.
Health department question.
Yeah, exactly.
I need more information. There are a lot of lots up there that could have septic, there are a few that can't, probably can't. But that's something the health department has to look at on a case by case.
And I know we talked about the water, the moratorium of saying that we would hook somebody up if they had $100,000, right?
I think we joked if we had the well, if they could fix the deficiencies in the system, we would be happy to fix it. Happy to let them hook up.
I think you residents would like to.
So is Rod rich enough, they can, yeah, we can
Yeah.
put that back on.
I'd like to be able to do
Hook you up right now.
that. Upgrade the system.
Any other questions with regards to Daniel Municipal or Storm Haven Water?
Is there anything we need to do on site, Ryan?
No,
Okay.
Other than making sure those signs when they start are posted.
yes. I got that sign in my office, and as soon as there's something up there, I will stick it on there.
Well, I've got all those other signs in my
And
office
all those
too.
other signs will get posted too.
Perfect.
Item 10, approval of council meeting minutes, both for April 1st, 2019 and April 10th, 2019. One was the combined meeting and one was just the individual meeting afterwards.
Did you want me to speak to the 10th, Mary? Or just minutes on the 10th?
Is there something worth speaking about? If not, shall I entertain a motion?
Well, we had a discussion and I asked her to include them in this. We wasn't sure if they needed to be approved by the council, but I think since the council was there and voted that we should have the council,
Approve as well.
you're right. So they'll be approved to the planning commission, on the planning commission side, but because the council was there, it was a public hearing. I thought we should do them here also.
I agree. Just make sure we cover the bases.
It seems to me like on the public hearing for the zone change, didn't Catherine Paulson comment that she was not supportive of it? Or is that something else I'm
You're
thinking?
talking zone change when the dumpster guys came in?
Yeah.
I think she did say that. Maybe.
Or he said it, or they said it in their seat, or, yeah.
Did you?
on Joe's. Yeah, it's right down there at the bottom of page 2 of the 10, right at the bottom.
So after the public hearing was closed, is that where I'm looking?
Something for graded, Mr. Smith? Okay, on,
Yeah, appears to be
Oh, okay.
after it was closed.
good memory, John? Shall I entertain a motion on either one, or both together?
Oh, do we need to make a note on the minutes that you held the question on the 6th? Or the 1st, I mean? For the letter?
Oh, yeah, 'cause we called, I changed the minute wording on that one.
Yeah, do we need to note that on the 1st?
Probably. On the back page, maybe?
I was just looking, is it on there? I think we were okay, maybe it's not in on there.
Motion.
I don't think it's addressed on there, so I think they're okay, Chip.
Okay.
That was just in my planner report. So I think you're okay.
Make a motion that we accept these minutes for the April 7th and the April 1st.
April 10th or
First and 10th.
April 1st of the
Okay, we have a motion to accept the minutes for the combined meeting on April 1st and our other meeting, which would have been April 10th.
Second.
We have a first and a second, any last discussion on the minutes?
Yeah, I found it. It's item number 8. On the 1st.
So where I pulled that, did that go under 8, just write withdrawal, or what, how the wording would be on that?
You could just put hold the question after that, on the April 10th meeting.
Under 8, just hold the question.
Hold the question.
If we want to make that note on item number 8, that was taken care of last, with that made in discussion, does the motion still stand?
Yes.
John?
Yeah.
Okay, we got a first and a second. Clarify and hold the question on item number 8. Any other discussion?
Did you date that? Hold the question on
On the first.
the 10th. You need to, when you made the motion to hold the question was on the 10th.
Oh, it was these minutes, but then it's on
Right.
the 10th, yes.
Right. So that's just the note. You can look it up on the next one.
Okay.
If I was to look that up, that's where I'd go.
First, second, discussion, any other discussion, comments? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes have been accepted with the changes made. And we'll move on to item number 11, which would be the recorder's office warrant approval, announcements, and anything else. Mary?
Okay, Towncouncil office, 884, office rent 200. We didn't get anything from Smith and Hardwickson. Wasatch Wade for Witt's hearing, $92.50. Evo hearing, $97.12. Laughlin Water, this was actually back in January, but I just recently got it. It was for a pre-bid meeting for $546.70. Blue Stakes, $17.67. Dolores, $500 for the quarterly software and support. TO Engineering for planning, $517.50. Engineering, $690. Leeson's, $175. Evo's, $157.50. Seuss's, $362.50. And then Eric's payroll, and then Wasatch County snow removal for $1,166.50 for a total of $5,413.53. Then you have council payroll, commission payroll, so the total's $12,237.53. Daniel Municipal CenturyLink data charge $47.75. Heber Power monthly charge $214.38. Chemtech monthly testing $20. And then the next testing was for the inorganic material nitrate pesticides for $1,542. T&O Engineering $172.60. Sampling $210. And then payroll, I didn't get Val and Gary's payroll till this afternoon, so it's not included. So $2,614.73 is the total. Dominion Energy monthly charge $907. Heber Power monthly charge $149.22. Chemtech Ford monthly testing $40. And then inorganic metal nitrate pesticides $1,141. TO Engineering for $1,035. Sampling $150. Payroll. And then again, we don't have hours for Gary or Val. Total $2,651.79.
So Mary, you received them today?
This afternoon.
Do we want to include those?
Sure can.
Is that okay? Okay. I want to change the numbers, but I don't want to hold the guys up either. I don't want them to quit.
He said they're fine either way, so. So you want it included?
Please.
Yeah. Do you have any amounts?
Do you know what the hours are?
I think Gary for Daniel, I think was 9, and then Storm Haven was 4, and then I think 4 and 4, but I'll give you those first thing in the morning.
Yeah, you can just make sure.
Thank you.
We'll have those to it. So do we already have, budget? Well, the only last two that we had to talk about are Gary and we've been paid on the warrant. So do we have our second, the first and second on this yet?
No.
Okay, now this one. If there's no discussion, the chair will entertain a motion for the warrants approval.
Motion to approve the warrants.
I'll second
Second, any other discussion?
Aye.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Warrants approved. We probably will be going, not probably, we will be going to a closed session, so would I take the time and go into closed session and Chair will entertain a motion to go into that?
it. Second. Put it close first.
We have to close the original meeting and then open back up to the closed session and we'll let everybody think about it.
You get to go home earlier than us.
Yeah, that means we get them. I'm not complaining.
I wonder if we can make a motion, we go home before the public.
Don't leave it before we close.